Hola Rafael, buenas noches, ¿cómo estamos?
Buenas noches, profesora. Bien, bastante bien.
Me alegra mucho escuchar eso. Les damos hasta las 7:05 a ver si aparecen, si no, seguimos nosotros.
Está perfecto, sí.
Perfecto, las 5 en punto, ¿llegaron o no llegaron? Tú vas de una vez, ¿ok?
7:05.
7:05, por favor.
Listo, listo.
Ojalá alguien llegue, gracias.
Gracias, profe. Buenas noches, estudiantes. Damos inicio a nuestra sesión número 3 de Inglés con Orientación Científica con la profesora Vivian Vargas. Profesora, paso a compartir los parámetros de la sesión. Estudiantes, estos son los parámetros de las sesiones por videoconferencia. Las sesiones se graban, o sea que podemos verlas nuevamente en la plataforma virtual. Les solicitamos que por favor silencien sus micrófonos y puedan activarlos cuando quieran hacer consultas o aportes con el permiso del docente. Les pedimos que mantengan su cámara activa. De no poder hacerlo, inverso de excusas por el chat de Zoom, o de lo contrario serán retirados de la sesión y les serán restados puntos de la heterovaloración del docente. Mi rol como moderador es facilitar y apoyar en la parte técnica. Las consultas las hacemos por el chat personal o general. Les exhorto a tener bolígrafo y papel para hacer sus anotaciones y aprovechar al máximo estas sesiones. Listo, profesora.
Gracias. Gracias, Rafael. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here watching your video today for your new class. This is module number 2, class number 3. Let's take a look and let's see what we are doing today. Okay, let me go ahead and show this for you guys. And let's make sure that everything is correct for you. Give me a second. A moment. Give me a second over here. Let me close everything so we don't have to be bothered by anything. Okay, let's go ahead and let's start our class for today. Okay, so this is English with scientific orientation or scientifically orientation English. This is module 2, tropical medicine, tropical medicine and Panama healthcare system. We are going to be talking about that, knowing a little bit about that, or reviewing certain things we may have forgotten, about that. And then we are going to be talking about the responsibilities that we have as interpreters if we want to go ahead and work with that. Okay, now let's take a look at this first. So let's take a look at the class objectives. It says, the first one is acquire an understanding of the professional obligations linked to tropical medicine and healthcare integrated, and display proficiency in tropical medicine and healthcare terminology in both the source and target languages. Now, since this is module 2 and it's classes 3 and 4, we are going to have the opportunity to be having this class number 3 and this class number 4 in order to check all the material that we have for this class. Good? Good. So we are going to be talking about this a little bit more, and we are going to be working on more on the second one later on. Now, what are neglected tropical diseases? Also called NTD, okay? And then here we have some names that we have heard. For example, here in Panama, we have heard, and I know in Colombia, people had it a lot, but here in Panama, we have heard about chikungunya, we have heard about dengue, we have heard about malaria, although the cases have been very controlled, about typhoid fever, that's less, but still, and Zika, we have heard about it, right? But there are some others that we are going to be learning about. Now it says, what are the class instructions? In the meantime, as always, we have to review them. The first one, get comfortable and with no distractions. It's important, okay? There is someone talking in the street, and I went out to see, and the man is talking along the street. And then I cannot do anything about it. I hope it doesn't bother you guys. But here we are, okay? I already put the phone in a way it's not going to bother me, and we are going to be for an hour together talking about these topics with no distractions. So I advise you to get not so comfortable you can fall asleep, or not to have the TV on or something, just focus on this. Second one, read and understand objectives thoroughly, which is pretty important. So you, at the end of the class, you know that you were able to get them. And the third one is do not skip tasks. Do not try to go straight to the tasks without the homework or to any assignments or to any test, without having, check the videos, this video, the class, and everything. So you can, whenever you are going to do something, any of the assignments, you are completely sure that you are done for sure. Now, let's go with the introduction, with the class introduction. What are the most common tropical diseases you can recall? I already gave you a hint. A ver, other than that, we just mentioned Zika, chikungunya, malaria, dengue, typhoid fever. What others do you recall? That's something that you can drink in the water or something. You remember cholera, for example? I think it's one of those. Have you or anyone in your family been affected by any tropical disease? Like, for example, dengue. Many people have gotten dengue. Or in the time of the Zika and chikungunya, it was a disaster. Everybody, I mean, not everybody, but lots of people. And I do remember a friend of mine, she got Zika in Colombia, and then she got chikungunya. And I remember that she said, Manita, because she calls me Manita, and she said, Manita, it's been 8 months, and I'm still in pain. My bones hurt, everything hurt. And I suffer a lot of seeing that. My brother also got it. He got chikungunya, and he said, this is awful. I mean, the feeling that you don't wanna get out of your bed and you feel that you're going to die, it's horrible. So that's why this is so important. And here, interpreters have something to do as well, and we will see how it is. Now, we are going to take a look, first of all, at the video, okay? That is called Neglected Tropical Diseases, because we tend to learn many ways. And then the visual. Visual, it's one of those. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and get ready to show you this video. Give me a moment. Let's take a look at that. Here we are. Let's see if it opens good or not. I didn't share the sound. Rafael, ¿me avisas si el video se oye bien, please? Okay. Okay, let's go ahead.
In the tropics, you have a number of diseases that you don't see anywhere else, and they're often quite horrific.
Guys, I'm going to play the subtitles just in case. I'm not sure if it's gonna be at the same time of the thing. Let's see. If not, I take them away.
We have more than 1 billion people who are at risk of these diseases. There are things like worms that are in your intestine, taking away your nutrition, and that stops kids from being able to learn in school or parents from being able to work. Guinea worm you get when you drink water that's got these small worms in it, and then it grows inside your body. And as the worm gets larger and larger, it causes intense suffering, itching. So people typically go get in the water, which actually allows the worm to escape. It actually leaves your body and goes back in to create its life cycle. Elephantiasis, there's a set of worms that actually go and live inside your lymph nodes. Your lymph node just grows very dramatically. And so whenever you see very extreme things where somebody's leg is 10 times the size it should be, or other parts of the body, that's typically elephantiasis. River blindness causes you to go blind. If you live in a rural village, that's even worse. You know, there's no braille books, farming type work that you would normally do. It's very tough. Amazingly, there are drugs to help treat most of these diseases. And so we worked with the drug companies to get huge donations and donors to fund getting out and having everybody who needs them take these pills. And if we do this well, a lot of these diseases can actually be completely eliminated.
Okay. So, what do you recall from what we just checked? Okay. What diseases do you remember from what we just checked? We were talking about, for example, the first one, the guinea worm. Did you see it? That they drink it because they're in the water. It gets into the body. It gets larger and larger, and then people the itch and everything, you know, itch, the pica, and then they go into the water and it goes out, but then it goes back into the body. And it's horrible. And, you know, we just drink our water that is very pure, very clean, and we don't have any kind of trouble. But can you imagine these people, these native people, these indigenous here in Panama, or some other people that they live far, far away, and then they depend on this kind of water to be able to drink. Can you imagine that? Then we checked for a second one. You remember the name? Elephantiasis. And did you see what it does? It goes, it's something that it goes into your body, and according to where it goes, it makes that part of the body to get, you know, really big. That's the name. That's why they have the name elephantiasis, for example, just to give examples. And then, but they said that fortunately, their medicine has been, or scientists have been able to develop medication in order to treat this. So if this goes to people, can you know, live and not to have any more trouble with this. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. Let's see what you guys recall from what we were talking about. Okay. And let's go to the next one. So about the video. Question number 1. There are no medications to treat tropical diseases. True or false? What do you think? True or false? It gave me false. Because it's false. Because yes, there is medication nowadays. There are medicines to be able to treat these things and save people's life. Okay. Second question. In rural areas, water has worms in it. Let's go. Tin, marín, dedo, pingüe, tucaramata, títere, fue. It said true. What do you think? Is it true or false? Yes, it's true. And from that water they drink, they can get lots of different diseases, and we just check for the guinea worm there. We talk also in the video about river blindness, right? River blindness is a disease found in the rainforest. Tin, marín, dedo, pingüe, tucaramaca, títere, fue. It says it's true. What do you think? Yes. Something bites you. I think it was a kind of mosquito, and then it can make you blind. And then it says elephantiasis is produced by a bacteria. Okay. Tin, marín, dedo, pingüe, tucaramaca, títere, fue. Yeah. Okay. Yes, the elephantiasis is produced by like a worm that gets into your body, and it goes and it helps. It grows that way, and it goes like this. So it could be false in this way. Now, we're going to work because this is interpretation. So what we are going to do is that I'm going to read this first in English, like someone is saying it to me, and then I'm going to say it in Spanish. I advise you to practice it at home because this is what interpreters, okay? So let's suppose that someone is giving a speech on this, and then I go ahead and I interpret it to Spanish. Government and international efforts. Panama recognizes the urgency of addressing tropical diseases and has taken significant steps to combat them. The country has adopted public health policies and strategies, including disease surveillance, prevention, and control measures. Collaborations with international organizations and neighboring countries are crucial in this regard. I think I went too far, sorry, my mistake. I'm going to go from one period to another one. So let me read this one again, and then I interpret that part. And then you should do the same at home at the same time. Government and international efforts. Panama recognizes the urgency of addressing tropical diseases and has taken significant steps to combat them. Esfuerzos internacionales y del gobierno. Panamá reconoce la urgencia de tratar las enfermedades tropicales y ha tomado medidas significativas para combatirlas. The country has adopted public health policies and strategies, including disease surveillance and prevention and control measures. el país ha adoptado políticas y estrategias de salud pública que incluyen la vigilancia del control de la enfermedad, la prevención y medidas de control. Surveillance sería vigilancia. La vigilancia de la enfermedad, la prevención y las medidas de control. Collaborations with international organizations and neighbors and neighboring countries are crucial in this regard. La colaboración con organizaciones internacionales y países vecinos son cruciales en este aspecto. Efforts to control mosquito vectors, improve sanitation and hygiene, and enhance healthcare infrastructure have been ongoing. Esfuerzos para controlar los vectores de los mosquitos. Mejorar la desinfección y la higiene. Y aumentar la infraestructura de salud, de cuidados de salud, se ha ido dando. Sorry, give me just a second. I have something here. Give me just a moment, sorry. Give me just a second. I'm sorry, I apologize. Something got into my eye. Okay, let's continue. And then let's continue. Initiatives to raise awareness and educate communities on disease prevention and early detection are also vital components of public health campaigns. Las iniciativas para aumentar la conciencia de las personas, educar las comunidades en la prevención de enfermedades y en la detección temprana, también son componentes vitales de las campañas de salud pública. Okay? Now, I'm doing this right here. I read this like when I was preparing the information on everything, but I haven't like really checked this like in this way. So it's just the first step. And most likely as I was doing it, I thought I could do this like better, okay? For example, I could say something like, también son componentes de las campañas, también son, o sea, algunos componentes de las campañas de salud pública que son vitales son esta. I mean, we could have done these bad words, maybe, okay? But remember, not opinions. Let's continue. Reading 1, tropical diseases. What are some of the diseases we can find in tropical rainforest? What's the scope of interpreters' role when working with health providers and community? Okay, let's go ahead and let's say, look, the drawings are so nice. Oh, but they can kill you for sure. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. And then let's go to the reading, guys. Second. And let's talk about this. Now in the reading, we are going to take our time because we need to be able to check all this in order to understand or to get the objectives of what we need. Okay, so we are going to take some time. It says, tropical medicine. That is what we are talking about. Thankfully, it exists. Okay, it says, Panama, nestled at the crossroads of Central and South America, is a nation of stunning biodiversity and complex public health challenges. Its lush rainforests, diverse ecosystems, and proximity to both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean create a unique environment where tropical diseases thrive. Tropical medicine in Panama requires a dynamic approach that involves the collaboration of scientists, healthcare professionals, indigenous communities, and various stakeholders. In this context, interpreters play a vital role as cultural and linguistic bridges, facilitate the exchange. So we have in here a vital role. It says a vital role as cultural and linguistic bridges, facilitating the exchange of knowledge and expertise, okay? Remember, in communication, I have a sender of a message and I have a receiver. And then the sender sends the message through any means, like for example, the telephone, the chat, the email, the TV, the anything. However, okay, if the message is not clear enough and it doesn't get to the receiver, there is no communication. It's not the message, but the other one didn't understand. There's no communication in this case. Do I explain myself? So that's why the role of the interpreter is so important. We have stated that in previous classes, but I have to continue checking for that with you. Because in this case, the person speaks in English, for example, and it gives the message to the interpreter. It's really, really, really important that the interpreter is able to say the same information to the other person without sounding disrespectful of the community or anything. And the same balance, okay? To be able to make themselves understood. Then we continue. This essay explores the challenges and strategies related to tropical medicine in Panama and highlights the valuable role of interpreters in fostering scientific collaboration. See how important this is. It's not a joke. Or it's not, yes, I speak English, so I can do that. No, not because we speak English, we're able to be interpreters. So we continue. At least not specialized interpreters. We can, like, for example, your mother says something to your boyfriend that is from the United States or from England. And then your mother says she doesn't speak English. She says something in Spanish, you translate it, you interpret it for him, and that's it. But when we are talking about specialized interpretation, it's no joke, it's different. Different business. So it says, Panama's geographical diversity and tropical climate make it a hotspot for a wide range of tropical diseases. These include vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever, as well as waterborne illnesses like cholera, the one I told you about. Neglected tropical diseases, also known as NTDs, such as leishmaniasis and leishmaniasis and Chagas disease, also pose significant health risks to the population. The prevention, treatment, and control of these diseases require a multidisciplinary approach involving healthcare workers, epidemiologists, entomologists, the ones that go for the worms and things like that, and public health experts. Addressing tropical diseases in Panama is a complex undertaking. These diseases often disproportionately affect vulnerable populations, such as indigenous communities living in remote areas. Communicating the intricacies of disease prevention, treatment, and public health measures to these communities, as well as coordinating research and intervention efforts, necessitates effective communication and cultural understanding. Here, interpreters emerge as essential figures, burden linguistic and cultural divides. Panama, a land of lush rainforests, because as we understood, we are full rainforest, diverse ecosystems, and a tropical climate. It's both a biological marvel and a hot spot for tropical diseases. So we say here, así como es de maravillosa con todas esas plantas y todas esas cosas, así mismo es, todo ese ambiente hace que sea un caldero, un foco de infección, por decirlo así, for tropical diseases. Nestled between Central and South America, this nation faces unique public health challenges due to its geographical location and environmental factors. Tropical diseases, often referred as neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, have a significant impact on the health and well-being of the population. This overview provides insights into the landscape of tropical disease, their impact, and their efforts to to combat. So we have here, for example, let's talk a little bit about each of them, okay? Then we have the malaria, okay? Malaria, it comes because of something called the Anopheles mosquito, okay? It's the first one that transmits malaria. They have advanced in this, but indigenous communities, they are still, very at risk because of this. Then we have dengue fever, and then many people here have had dengue. Many people in Panama, I know, have had dengue. Okay, and then this is another mosquito that is called Aedes. We call it here, we call it in Spanish, we say Aedes aegypti. I don't know if you remember. Okay, and then from every time to time, you can see here, no, that the thing is that está dando, dengue está dando ahora mismo. Ahora mismo hay un brote de dengue because of certain things. That's why they always tell us to keep things clean, not to let water, puddle, or also there, because of this. Then we have leishmaniasis. Okay, this is from a parasite. Okay, and the parasite comes from the flies, las moscas, and it says that it happens in certain parts in Panama. And then for the people who live like in towns, in remote towns, it's even worse. Then we have the Chagas disease. And the Chagas disease is another parasite, the Triponoma cruzi, the Triponoma, and transmitted by the Tritomian bug, okay? Now, notice, bugs, two types of mosquitoes, parasites in flies. That's why sometimes we, una mosca, that's it. No, but moscas, the flies, they bring infections, they bring things that's so important that we keep them away. It says here cholera, and it says here that right now you don't see that much in Panama because they have these people, what's the name of the company? The people who produce Colgate, Ariel, all those things. Procter & Gamble, I think, the ones. They invented like a polvillo, okay? And then they go there in the community, the people put the water, and then in the water they put the polvillo, and then they leave it there for a while, and then they have like a cloth, and then into another thing they put some like cloth, and then they put the water, they put it there, and then they use the water that it's there ready to be boiled, and then drunk and everything. And then due to this work that people can drink clean water, is that this has disappeared, okay? And then Zika, another emerging diseases like chikungunya and everything, they also come from the Aedes aegypti. That is a mosquito that is present in all tropical countries like Panama and Colombia and everything, okay? Now, interesting, do you remember that we talked about, in the first classes, we talk about that we talk about the cancer ones, of the medicines for cancer, but in general, most of the medications or the medicine that we use for things, they come from Panama as well, okay? It talks about the quinine or the quinine, okay? That is, it's been used to, or it has been used for centuries for treating malaria. Then we have artemisinin, and in the case of the artemisinin, we said that it's also for malaria. And then we have vinblastine and vincristine, and this one is for some forms of cancer, such as leukemia and lymphoma. Can you imagine? And then we have digitalis, that is from a plant also, and it's used for heart conditions, congestive heart failure, and irregular heart rhythms. Then we have a capsaicin. You have heard about it. You should have heard about it. I have heard about capsaicin. Capsaicin in Spanish is capsaicina, something like that. And then this one, it says here to relieve pain, okay? And they use it in creams for arthritis and neuropathic pain. And then we have here paclitaxel, and this one is for chemotherapy drug, okay? in treatment for cancers of lung, breast, and ovarian. We have curare, and curare, it's used for anesthesia for the relaxation during surgeries. And then we have quinidine, and this is also for malaria. And then we have ipecac, that is in case of accidental poisoning, it helps you vomit. And then we have pilocarpine, okay, or pilocarpine, that is used in ophthalmology for glaucoma, for example. All these things come from us, from Panama, from these countries that have that are in the middle of the rainforest. Now, what happens? Impact on public health, salud pública in general in the country. It says that they impact the health of Panamanians. And then it says because they can cause illness, disability, and even death, okay? But then the ones that suffer the most with this are the indigenous populations, because they don't have all the resources that we have, and they are more vulnerable than we are, okay? And then it says here that is an economic burden because it's high treatment costs, loss of productivity, and healthcare expenses. And it's difficult. It's difficult for the health system because it costs a lot. And it's difficult for people because they don't have the money to buy, okay? And then, for example, it goes also to tourists sometimes and to trade, because people who come here as tourists or to come here to make businesses, they can get one of these things, and then this can be wrong for everyone, for them and for us. And then here we talk about this in the interpretation. They keep working on this. They keep working on la higiene, ¿no? Y la desinfección. I forget the word. Now let's talk about this. That is one of the main objectives that we have for this class, okay? You're gonna notice that it's kind of similar to the other ones that we read before last classes. However, the difference here is the kind of information, the kind of vocabulary or terminology that you have to use, okay? Now, it says, interpreters in the field of tropical medicine fulfill a multifaceted role extending beyond mere language translation. That is the first one. Their contributions are integral to the success of their research, healthcare, and public health initiatives. Because in all those fields or in all those moments or acts or situations, they can be there, and then they can save lives by doing a good work. And then it says they translate languages accurately, ensuring that systems, scientists, healthcare, and communities can clearly understand each other. They also bridge cultural differences. They can understand aspects that influence healthcare practice and acceptance of the community for medical solutions. Remember, the people who live in rural areas, or the indigenous people, because it can be one or the other, they have had el curandero that have always helped them and everything. And then these people come here and then they tell me, you cannot drink this water anymore. You have to use this polvillo to do this. And then you need to take this medication or this medicine. Huh? No, but the curandero, he says, he prays over me or anything. So it's although they cannot give their opinion, the interpreter needs to help. It says influence healthcare practice and acceptance of the community for medical solutions. It helps them accept that they need this in order to survive to these illnesses. To do this effectively, interpreters need to know medical and technical terms related to tropical diseases, such as how they spread, how to prevent them, and how to treat. It's important. This here is like the most important thing, is that you need to know the medical and terminology that is related to this particular part. Depending on the situation, it can be consecutive or it can be simultaneous. It says here that they remain neutral, no opinions. Overall, it says when discussing sensitive or potentially controversial medical topics. Okay, they also build trust, understanding between health professionals and indigenous communities. And when it comes to fast-paced discussions about healthcare and science, they need to be quick, okay? They need to be quick, and they usually, as we spoke before, have to study the material. They usually study the material, conduct research, so they can be prepared. And then it says here, interpreters play an important role overall in Panama because they facilitate knowledge exchange and improve public health, which is really important. Their work goes beyond language. It also involves understanding different cultures, technical and diplomatic terms, important, all of which are important to the health and unique ecosystem of the country. And I think we finish over here with this one, okay? So let's review a little bit about this and about what we learned. So when we talk about this, okay, we were talking about this. What are some of the diseases that we can find in tropical rainforest? We talk about the leishmaniasis, we talk about the Chaga disease, the cholera, the malaria. We talk about the elephantiasis, what other one? The dengue fever, the Zika, the chikungunya, all those diseases that are so damaged. And then we saw how, for example, some of them, like the malaria, it's the Anopheles mosquito, but the dengue and the Zika and chikungunya and everything is because of the Aedes aegyptis. And we talk about some of them are because of a parasite, and another one is because of a bug that brings like the thing. So it's like the different things. Fortunately, we have a good water system, well, most of us, and then we have the opportunity to have filters or anything, so water doesn't mean or doesn't present a threat for us, okay? Now, what's the scope of the interpreter's role when working with health providers and community? So we said that they are bridge. They translate, of course, but they also work as a cultural and linguistic bridge, sorry, my mistake. And then we said that they usually prepare themselves and research to be prepared, that they don't give their opinions, that they have to remain neutral. We said also that they have to study the terminology. They have to know the medical and the technical terminology to be able to treat this. We also saw that they can do it consecutively. I mean, at the same, the person speaks and when the person finishes, then you do it, or they can do it simultaneously as the person speaking, the other person is talking, okay? Simultaneously, for example, let me give you an example of where it can be simultaneously. When you listen to these people in the presidents, they go there in La Cumbre, in the summit. They go to the summits in the Paris or whatever summit, and you have all the presidents there. And then the president of China or China's president is talking. And then the others have something here because someone is translating into the language of that person, French, English, Spanish, or whatever, is translating what the president is saying so they can understand. I think that one is most of the times recorded. But in other places, most of the time, people translate consecutively. One person says something, like we're in the practices right now, and then the other person translates after that, okay? Now we saw the scope of the thing, and then we said that we had some class objectives. It says, acquire an understanding of the professional obligations linked to the healthcare tropical medicine, okay? This is what we just did. What are the professional obligations? The professional obligations are, that they have to give no opinions. They have to be ready. They have to know the material. They have to know everything that you need to. Give me just a second, please. Thank you. The alarm, I have to put it off. Give me just a second. Okay, let's continue. So we already covered the objective over here, okay, of what we have to do. Next class, we're going to be working on this, okay, in order to do it better. However, at the moment, we are going to continue practicing interpretation, okay? Let's go with it and let's interpret over here what we have to say, okay? So it says here, tropical diseases impact the health and well-being of Panamanians in multiple ways. Las enfermedades tropicales impactan o afectan la salud y el bienestar de los panameños de muchas maneras. These diseases can cause severe illness, disability, and in some cases, death. Estas enfermedades pueden causar enfermedades graves, discapacidad y en algunos casos la muerte. Communities residing in remote and underserved areas, particularly indigenous populations, are often more vulnerable due to the limited access to healthcare and public health services. Las comunidades que residen en áreas remotas y limitadas, particularmente la población indígena, son más vulnerables, casi siempre son más vulnerables debido al acceso limitado al sistema de salud y a los servicios de salud pública. Moreover, the economic burden of tropical diseases is significant. Además, la carga económica de las enfermedades tropicales es significativa. High treatment costs, loss of productivity, and healthcare expenses strain both individuals and the healthcare system. El alto tratamiento de los costos, la pérdida de la productividad y los gastos del sistema de salud, los gastos de salud estresan, por decirlo así. Oh, no, strain. Let me look for a word for strain. Let me look for a word for strain. Because I got, in that one I got, remember the teachers, you must be teachers, some of you, remember teachers don't know everything all the time. Give me a second. Strain. No, I don't have it as a verb. Agotan, fuerzan, cansan. I would leave it in. I would leave it in estresa. Okay, let's continue. So it says, where were we? No, this is not the one. This one. It says, los altos costos de los tratamientos, la pérdida de la productividad y los gastos de salud estresan let me get a word over here. Strain. Let me synonym for strain. Yeah, I would say that. Tanto, let's say, afectan tanto a los individuos como al sistema de salud. El individuo porque no tiene plata para pagar todo eso. Tú sabes, una persona que viene allá del campo, que vive de lo que siembra o lo que sea, y esto y aquello, y tiene que venir hasta acá a la ciudad, a un centro de salud, porque donde él está no funciona o no tratan eso. Todo lo que tiene que pagar, entonces los medicamentos y demás en ese caso. Y al sistema de salud, porque hay muchísima gente cuando el sistema de salud, estamos hablando del sistema de salud público del gobierno, they don't have the money to pay surgery. I mean, they have to spend more money in order to be able to pay this. So it says, the impact extends to tourism and trade, as outbreaks of diseases like dengue and cholera can deter visitors and disrupt commerce. It says, el impacto se extiende hasta el turismo y el comercio, ya que los brotes de enfermedades como el dengue y el cólera pueden detener o pueden I know what I have to say, it's like teacher, like prevenir, pueden prevenir a los visitantes, en el sentido de que yo para allá no voy, porque ya me va a dar algo, and disrupt commerce, y afectar el comercio. Okay? Yay, we did it. So let's take a look at what happened today in the class. Let me go ahead before we continue. Let us take a look at what happened today in the class. And why was this important? This is module number 2. Let me open this over here. And let's take a look at this. I want to open it, but not so much. Okay, and here. I'm okay here. Okay. So let's take a look at what we were talking about today in the class. And let's see why we will continue next class with the rest of it, okay? So we have tropical medicine, the Panama healthcare system. And then we were talking about today, we were talking about the NTDs. Every time you listen to people say, no, the thing is that he got an NTD. The NTDs are the neglected tropical diseases that we were talking about, that were the Chagas, the Zika, the chikungunya, the dengue, the cholera, the malaria, the maniasis, what's the other? The elephantiasis, river blind, the one that goes out, and the worm, Guinea worm, worm of Guinea, something like that. Okay, so we had the opportunity to take a look at this. This one we will be checking next class, and then we will be talking about this, okay? We are going to be talking about this, and then we are going to be checking vocabulary for this and practicing with the vocabulary for this. And then here we have the first reading, the one that we considered today, and then we have the second one that we will be considering next class, where we will have the opportunity to work on the terminal, okay? Now, what's the activity that you need to work on? It says here, use the videos and the readings to complete the following activities, okay? And then it says here, watch carefully this video, okay? This video is in Spanish. Then you have to record your voice interpreting the narrator of the video provided into English. Now you will do it into English, okay? You have to state your name before interpreting, and you have to pronounce each word as clearly as possible, okay? The second activity that you will have is the test, okay? Remember, we don't have any forum this time. I don't know, they left this here by mistake. But we don't have forum this time. We only have activity 1, that is this one, that is difficult enough. And we have the activity 2, that is the test. Those are the only 2 things that you have for this class. And then afterwards, you finish with this, but you don't have to work on this yet, because we are going to be working next class on the rest of the thing. So when you have all the information, then you will be able to do it, Okay, so this is our last slide for today that we have, where I'm reminding you of this and this, and I'm reminding you that you can visit the virtual library whenever you need it. Please, if it's possible for you to advance with the thing, it would be nice. But if not, give me a second. Let me go ahead and check something. But if not, I would advise you to the thing is that this is today. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys, because we do have the time yet. Let me go ahead and let me see if you can see this. I'm gonna check, because this is class number 3, so you should have had a chance to go over this one over here. Then we have, and I have here 0, 0, 0 out of one person that is supposed to take. Okay, so in this case, we continue going ahead, and I'll be waiting for you to go ahead and upload it so we can continue working. Okay, and that would be it. Let me talk then to Rafael to finish the class for today. Okay, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I was checking today the forum. I didn't see anyone wrote anything, but you can go ahead in the forum and ask me any question that you have. Thank you. Rafael.
Listo, profesora. Si no tenemos más consultas o aportes, podemos dar como finalizada la sesión de la noche de hoy. Tengan todos una excelente noche. Gracias, profesora.
Con gusto, hasta luego.